Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for our 2021 Roanoke Go Red for Women Luncheon. I'm Jane Caffrey with WDBJ7, and I am delighted to be your MC here today. Wherever you may be located, we are thrilled that you are here to celebrate, be inspired, and focus on women's heart health. We want to recognize and thank the woman who led the charge for Go Red over this past year, Cherie Grisso. Her strength, compassion, guidance, and strategic thinking have resulted in a very successful campaign. We are so grateful for her leadership, along with that of the executive leadership team. So please welcome our 2021 Chair of the Roanoke Go Red for Women movement, Cherie Grisso, CEO of Richfield Living.
Hello, I am Cherie Grisso, the CEO of Richfield Living, and I am very excited to be with you today, especially to be the host of and to have led this year's campaign for the 2021 Go Red for Women Luncheon. I am very, very appreciative of everybody who's taken their time to join us today to support the American Heart Association for this virtual event. We all hoped we wouldn't be doing this virtually again this year, but we are, and so we're making the best of it. So thanks again to everybody who has taken the time to join us. This year's Go Red for Women Luncheon builds on all the great work that's been done by so many to really help our mothers, our daughters, our friends, and other loved ones really understand the symptoms of heart disease and take control of their health. Such an important topic. And working together, we're all spreading the word to help our friends, our family, and our neighbors understand that cardiovascular disease really is the #1 killer of women. Go Red for Women is one of the many vehicles that the American Heart Association harnesses to achieve its mission to be a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives. And I'm going to read some of this because I want to make sure I get the information factually accurate, because this is such an important message that I want to share with you today. So the work of American Heart Association has never been more important, as people with cardiovascular disease face more than 4 times higher rate of death than from the new coronavirus, which is staggering to know that there's even more complications that could make this whole situation worse. You may have also heard that doctors are increasingly reporting that some patients are developing cardiovascular complications such as heart rhythm disorders, blood clots, inflammation causing chest pains that mimic heart attack, and even cardiac arrest. All, again, just very scary situations. So the American Heart Association is advocating and supporting changes to the policies, systems, and environments that address inequities for access to education, nutrition, physical activity, and the quality of care. All of these issues have obviously been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, but certainly the American Heart Association can't do this alone. Our world has changed significantly since the beginning of this pandemic, and despite those changes, we remain committed to educating and empowering the women in our communities and overcoming the barriers that prevent each of us from living healthy, full lives. So here we are today, virtually standing together as a community, committing ourselves, our families, and one another, that we're going to prioritize our personal health and support the health of the men and women who love them. Heart disease doesn't just affect 1 in 3. It is likely to touch every single one of us at some point in our lives. And that's why I want to share my why. So I'm blessed to be the mom of 4 amazing young adults, ages 24, 23, 21, and 19 right now, 3 sons and then a daughter. And my second son, Brody, all my kids were very active, playing sports growing up and very healthy. But my second son, Brody, was on the path to be a collegiate athlete. And in his first week of going to college, the team conducted routine physical examinations of the athletes. And he had an abnormal echocardiogram. He was 18 at the time, the picture of health, and within 48 hours, numerous tests, he was diagnosed with a very rare condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And we were told that his heart was a ticking time bomb. This was obviously very scary for our family and obviously for Brody, that he was not only sidelined from the sport that he loved, but his daily routines and activities dramatically had to shift, and he had to learn a whole new way of living. Thankfully, over the next several months, my son was able to undergo state-of-the-art procedures that allowed him to resume a normal, healthy lifestyle. Although his college career did end, of course, abruptly with this diagnosis, we were all very lucky that he did go through that test, because it helped diagnose something that he obviously already had before a major cardiac event occurred. So we certainly were grateful for that. Since that time, since 2016, when Brady's diagnosis occurred, I've had a number of other impacts in my life. For example, I've had a close friend lose her husband at the age of 52 to heart disease, and my best friend's from high school, her daughter was also diagnosed with a very rare heart condition that she's had since birth, and was just diagnosed later in life. And my very own father had a stroke following a fairly routine procedure. So all of those things, certainly opened my eyes. And then I'm blessed to work at a community at Richfield Living of 1,100 people living and working here. Over 70% of those are women. And as I learned more about the statistics of heart disease, it really compelled me to get involved with Go Red for Women, because I really wanted to make sure I had the opportunity to impact the education and awareness about all the risks to women. So I wanted to make sure, of course, that each of us takes time to understand how we prevent heart disease, how to prevent suffering and loss in your own families and loved ones. So please take time today to take notes and share what you learn with the women in your lives, and obviously the men as well, because it is such an important topic. As you saw in the opening video, heart disease and stroke have never just been men's diseases. Throughout the years, women have been left out of studies, which is very unfortunate, and that's what American Heart Association is trying so hard to change. Women have been unrepresented, uncounted, undiagnosed, and untreated in many cases. So now we're really advocating for better representation in medical research, pushing for equitable access to care and treatments for all. All of this is what drew me to the Go Red for Women movement, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it, because I do recognize that the American Heart Association provides education and awareness about heart disease and stroke to our community, and that they work tirelessly to improve the lives and promote prevention and health equity. But we can't do this alone. I do want to take a few minutes to just thank some groups. First, the executive leadership team for this Go Red event has been really phenomenal this year, and I very much appreciate your support and guidance, especially in helping make the decision to make this event virtual. I know this is hard, and I really do appreciate all of your involvement. And next, our Circle of Red donors are really ambassadors that have donated over $1,000 to this cause, and we're very grateful for you. Our Corps Vitae is a nationally recognized philanthropic society for anyone who makes a personal financial commitment of over $5,000. So both Circle of Red donors and our Corps Vitae Society are very, very integral to making this cause that we are so passionate about come to life, and to really ensure that the education and the research is happening. So thank you so much. And I am very grateful for your attendance today. I hope that you get something out of this as much as I know I will. And I look very forward to reconnecting with everyone soon. Enjoy your day.
Thank you so much, Cherie. We really appreciate it. And I know all of you are here today for your own specific reasons, that women's heart health has impacted you in some way or another. For me, I have had family members that have been affected by heart disease. It's a really tough thing to watch, but I've also seen some strong women overcome those health obstacles. I know that you have similar stories, and that's what brings you here to support this important cause and the very important work of the American Heart Association. So during the program, you'll have the opportunity to respond at any time and move the mission of the American Heart Association forward. You can do that by making an investment with a personal gift. So don't forget to check out the silent auction. That auction will close tomorrow night, so get your bids in while you can. Go Red is all about women making a commitment to stand together, right? And take charge of their own heart health, as well as the health of those that they cannot bear to live without. So let's check out the social media campaign, the social media wall. It's brought to us by Richfield Living. It's capturing all of your photos. I'm sure a lot of you are contributing right now. And so that we can all share these photos, go ahead and use the hashtag #GoRedNo. Keep on tweeting, Instagramming, putting them on Facebook with that hashtag #GoRedNo, and let everybody see how we have all come together here in Roanoke today. I'd also like to take this time to thank our amazing corporate and media sponsors, National Go Red for Women sponsor, CBS Health, Optima Health, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Go Red sponsor, Richfield Living, Silver sponsors, Gentry Long Attorneys and Gulick Capital Management, Medical Facilities of America, and Member One Federal Credit Union. And our media sponsor, WDBJ7. Your support is so important and it's so appreciated, especially as we all know it has been a difficult time. So please take a minute to write in the chat box names of friends and family who are on the front lines of the COVID-19 response. Just click on the right-hand side of the chat box and tell us about some of these heroes who have been helping out, helping fight this virus as the pandemic continues. And I know that so many of the first responders that you have in mind for women, we're here because women really make a difference. We always have. So let's take a short break, stand up, stretch our legs while we hear a message about National Stroke Month. Heart disease is the leading killer of women, but by paying attention to risk factors and living a healthy lifestyle, we can help keep heart disease at bay. Among women, 90% have one or more risk factors for heart disease at some points in their life, according to the American Heart Association statistics. Yet 80% of cardiovascular diseases are preventable. That is the good news. The American Heart Association tells us that each person is different. So here are some tips on some heart attack symptoms that you should look out for. Those include tightness in the chest, but more often than not, you could also have extreme fatigue. You could have pain in your neck, jaw, or back, indigestion, cold sweats, arm tingling, even nausea. All things to keep an eye on and pay attention to. Don't ignore the signs. And if you think you are having a heart attack, call 911. Doing this quickly can save your life, and it is still the right thing to do even during a pandemic. The Go Red movement is all about saving lives and celebrating others. So who do you go red for? Tell us now in the chat box who brought you here today, who you go red for. And I know this is really important to everyone. It means a lot, people that you're naming that brought you here to support this movement today. And so now that we have said and talked about who we go red for, we want to introduce you to our keynote speaker and congenital heart defect survivor, Devin Brzezinski. Devin has actually been named a Go Red for Women Real Woman spokesperson for our Go Red for Women national campaign. And she is in the first class ever selected for congenital heart defect survivors. Let's give Devin a huge virtual round of applause.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Jane, and thank you so much to the American Heart Association Roanoke for having me here today. I am part of the Real Women class of 2021, but I am also one of 4 women representing the first congenital heart defect group. When I was asked to be a keynote speaker today, I was really excited, a little bit nervous, and really optimistic for what impact I could have on all of you. I never thought someone like me would be represented on such a national stage, so I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here today. Through sharing my story, I hope you walk away feeling inspired and motivated to take control of your health. My parents found out that I would have two issues with my heart when my parents were 7 months pregnant with me. And after I was born, they were given two options. I could take daily medications and hope that I would not require surgery in the future, or I could undergo the knife and have heart surgery around 4 months old. And my parents were conflicted with what the right decision was in that moment because, one, they had lost a daughter previously to congenital heart disease, but two, they wanted me to have the best outcome possible. So after they did a lot of research and spoke with subject matter experts, they ultimately decided that moving forward with the heart surgery would be the best decision for my case. So when I was 4 months old, I had heart surgery to repair an atrioventricular septal defect and a defective mitral valve. My parents assembled a treatment team essentially because they had previously lost a daughter to congenital heart disease. Her name was Jessica, and she went into cardiac arrest when she was 2 days old, which required them to send her to Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. And while she was there undergoing several treatments, the physicians and the cardiologists, nursing staff, everyone on her care team was really supportive and really helpful towards my parents. So when they faced the same issue with me, they reached out to them and asked if they would be part of my care team. And I'm extremely, extremely grateful for my parents' advocacy for me at a time when I couldn't advocate for myself. My prognosis was also very unknown at the time. In 1990s, it was a different time of medicine, and physicians hypothesized that I would not be able to engage in quote unquote normal activities that a kid would, like playing sports, being really physically active. And I also had a high probability to have Down syndrome and other intellectual or developmental delays. But my parents, once I had that heart surgery and I survived, my parents said, "We are not treating our daughter like she's different. We want her to grow up as a typical child would." And I think that really excelled and propelled my development as a child, because I wound up playing 3 sports in high school, club lacrosse when I went to James Madison University for undergrad. And I never grew up thinking that I was different from other people. So my advice to other people is, don't let your diagnosis define you. Really take charge of your health and stay proactive with it. But don't let this diagnosis influence what you can and can't do, because you never know unless you try. A couple of years after my surgery was a success, my parents were pregnant again. Unfortunately, at the 6-month mark, my mom experienced a miscarriage, and the baby girl that she was carrying also had a heart defect. So my family was very confused because we had zero history of heart disease in our family prior to me and my sisters. And usually, 1 out of every 100 babies are born with a congenital heart defect. But my parents had 3. So while I think it's extremely beneficial to be proactive with your health, I made a promise to myself when I was about in middle school that I would live a really healthy, active, and fit lifestyle. So I was very active through my sports, And our family ate very healthy, but it was really important to visit my primary care physician every year, see a gynecologist, go to my cardiologist every year, and get routine echoes, EKGs, and stress tests. And it's been mentioned again or earlier, but I'll say it again. Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women, but it's also the most preventable. I'll say that again. Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women, but it is the most preventable. So by being proactive, going to your routine checkups, it's extremely important to stay on top of your health. When I was in my mid-20s, I was, again, staying really active and fit, but I decided I wanted to take it up to another level. So I got my personal training certification, and I also started incorporating yoga into my daily routine. And then I became 200-hour registered in yoga. And that really sparked an interest in not only my physical health, but my mental health as well. And now I'm getting my doctorate degree in occupational therapy, taking it another step further. And my ultimate goal is to try to eliminate heart disease from even occurring by focusing on that preventive end of healthcare. And I think the most important thing is consistency in whatever you do, not going out with the fad diets or the fad exercises, but really staying consistent and choosing what you like to do. So I have a challenge for you. Really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, what can I start doing consistently every day that will promote better physical and or mental health? And how can I make those small steps to be consistent every single day? I think if we are each able to pick one or two things, then we can really start getting ahead of heart disease and promoting or preventing heart disease one day at a time. Thank you.
Devin, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I think that we can all agree what an inspiration you and your family are. It's really difficult to hear about the struggle that your parents and yourself went through with your health situation and your sisters, but such an inspiration to see your commitment to your heart health. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we are really aware and recognize the innumerable variables in today's world, but we also recognize just how important the work of the American Heart Association is and its mission for people just like Devin. That's why you're all here today. So if you are able, we really encourage you to consider donating and supporting Devin. And just because our lives have been put on hold for the COVID-19 pandemic, it doesn't mean that heart disease has stopped being our #1 killer. And so remember that your donation today is 100% tax deductible. And it's really easy. You see it right there on your screen. You simply click on the amount that you want to give at the bottom of your screen. So our Open Your Heart goal today, it's $5,000. Who wants to start us off? I know we already have some donations there on the right. We have Sandra with $100, Julie with $50, Shannon with $50. It's great to see that. Let's go for 100% giving today in the virtual giving room. Join us to make a difference. Go ahead and give now. Open up your hearts to support this life-saving mission of the American Heart Association at this very critical time. Just tap the button there on your screen. So $5,000 donation That makes you part of the celebrated Corps Vitae Society, and that is Latin for Heart of Life. Corps Vitae is the American Heart Association's annual giving society. It was created in 2012, and it celebrates the individual donors making annual cumulative gifts of $5,000 or more. All right. $2,500 would help purchase 4 CPR kits, for school training kits rather, and those are designed to train thousands of students and faculty in the life-saving skill in this school setting. So $2,500 just really goes a long way helping educators, students learn how to save a life. If you would like to donate $1,000 today, you could reach 500 women. Think of that. It would be with our Go Red for Women movement, and it would provide a red dress pin, cholesterol, blood pressure, weight tracker, and all kinds of other tools to help them take charge of their heart health. And that is Go Red Circle of Red level, $1,000. We would love to invite you to join us today at that level, $1,000. Look at this amazing contributions that we are seeing so far. We have Cherie, Grisso with 1,000. We have Alicia Smith with that 5,000 Corps Vitae. You are all amazing, and we love seeing the donations come in. We're at 7,200 already. This is incredible. And if anyone else would like to get involved, we have a $500 option, and that would teach more than 1,200 children in Roanoke how to avoid obesity and live longer, stronger lives through our nutrition and exercise materials for kids. So helping kids get an early jump start on their health. 250 of your dollars would train 5 people in our community to perform CPR and use an AED, and so that they would be totally prepared if someone has a cardiac emergency. And remember, for all of you here, any amount that you give today has an impact. So $100, will you give $100 today? Just tap that button right there on your screen. And look at us, so close to the $8,000 mark. You are all amazing for your big donations here. Just incredible to see this. We all know that more cardiovascular research is needed, and more answers to questions asked by survivors are definitely needed, especially for those families that have lost a loved one. And you know, as a science-based organization that cares about public health, the American Heart Association is following the most recent guidance that's available from our federal, state, and local health authorities regarding work-related events, meetings, and gatherings. And that made them pivot to today's virtual version of our Go Red for Women Luncheon. Just going to point out that we have passed to the $8,000 mark, sitting now at $8,750. Pass or open your heart goal today. That's amazing to see this. What a great, great turnout. So that being said, the American Heart Association's life-saving mission and work is continuing, and it really wouldn't be possible without support from people like you. So it is amazing to see the power of women and all of those who love them. We're at $9,275. You are really opening your hearts and showing how much you care about this mission. Thank you so much for contributing today. Amazing that we have surpassed our goal so quickly. It is so wonderful to see that. Thank you to all of you. So what an amazing group of women here celebrating today virtually, celebrating our health and committing to a healthier tomorrow for our daughters and for our community. Your support is so essential today, and it gives us more time with our loved ones. We all know that that is so important. It gives us hope that the research you are helping to fund is the most important thing, and that is more time. So look at us, $9,550, incredible. We're so close to doubling that goal. Amazing to see that. So remember, you can continue to donate, support this very important cause. But first, we want to hear from some of the amazing women around the country with what they are going to do with more time.
What would I do more time?
Oh,
Wow.
if I had more time, I'd call my grandma back. I miss her.
I'd go straight to the studio and dance my little heart out.
I'd teach my great-grandson how to paint.
I would rescue all the animals that I could.
I would take up the guitar again because I have always wanted to be a rock star. With the hair.
I would love to spend more time laughing.
I'd empower women to move.
I would follow my passion of writing.
I would spend it with my husband because he's an amazing person.
I would read.
Oh, I would totally buy those stilettos.
I would go to yoga every day and find more peace in my heart.
I would definitely meditate more.
I would focus on my faith.
I do everything I'm doing now, just more of it. More volunteering, more time with my family.
I would do more of what I want to do and less of what I have to do.
If I had more time, I'd give it all to her.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
I've been given more time.
And I have been given more time.
In 2008, at the age of 37, I suffered a heart attack. And I never saw it coming.
At 10, I was diagnosed with dilated cardiomyopathy. And at 22, I had a heart transplant.
Thanks to research funded by the American Heart Association,
so many of us have been given more time.
More time with our families, more time with our dreams, and more time to accomplish the things that cardiovascular disease tried to take from us.
And with that time, we choose to continue the fight past our recovery.
Hand in hand with those who helped us become survivors today.
So we can educate and eradicate cardiovascular disease in women across the globe.
Giving them more time.
Giving us all more time. I am proud to work at Macy's, a company dedicated to supporting women's heart health.
We are here with you today to celebrate what it means to be a woman, what it means to be beautiful, and what it means to be alive.
And we're not going anywhere.
Time. We all know that that is something we can't get back. So let's all spend some more time focusing on ourselves to be healthier. And with that being said, it's time to hear about how to make a healthy lunch by giving those sandwiches a makeover with this cooking demo, sponsored by Anthem.
The key to a healthy sandwich is to have a good balance of all the food groups. These simple variations can help you switch up your brown bag fare and are sure to please even the pickiest palates. First, let's switch up the mayo. Add a little paprika for a smoky flavor, or kick up the heat with a little sriracha. And a little garlic never hurts. On a healthy note, look for a canola oil-based mayo, lower in saturated fat than most other mayos. Pesto is another way to add some character to your sandwich. It typically has fewer calories than mayo and is chock full of healthy fats. Creamy hummus is super easy to find in your supermarket and comes in many flavor varieties. It's rich in flavor and adds a bit of protein. If you want to experiment with concocting your own mustard spreads, start with a basic yellow mustard and mix in honey and a tiny bit of curry. Also try adding fresh herbs like dill or thyme and chopped sun-dried tomatoes. Perk up your peanut or almond butter sandwiches by adding a 1/4 cup sliced fresh strawberries, raspberries, and or blackberries. The fruity flavor mimics a PB&J while giving you a great way to include fresh fruit in your lunch. Mixing 2 teaspoons of mustard into the tuna lends a kick without adding calories. Or go breadless and add your tuna fish directly to peeled cucumber rings. Creamy, crunchy slaw is great on the side, but even better on the inside of a ham or turkey sandwich. You can use 1/4 cup purchased coleslaw or make a quick and easy one at home. Combine a 1/4 cup shredded cabbage, 2 tablespoons shredded carrot, 1 tablespoon cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon light or fat-free mayonnaise, and a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar in a small bowl and mix until the cabbage is fully coated. Then season with salt and pepper to taste. Swap out the white bread with whole wheat. Use an olive oil mayonnaise instead of butter, substitute a skimmed cheddar, and turn up the flavor with a little hot pepper jelly. For a different sandwich altogether, just spread your wheat bread with creamy, low-fat ricotta cheese and smashed peas. Top with hard-boiled eggs and thinly sliced radishes for a spicy crunch. Keeping some homemade spreads, slaw, and a variety of produce on hand makes it a cinch to dress up a simple sandwich.
All right, delicious. I know I'm definitely going to be trying out some of those tips to jazz up my lunches and have some great healthy options. So at this point, I've been to a lot of virtual events. I know that you have too, but nothing like this. Roanoke Go Red for Women campaign is truly committed to bringing awareness to women's heart health. So please comment in the chat box again what you've learned today or your key takeaway from our virtual program. There's been a lot of good tips, a lot of good ideas for maintaining heart health, and I love seeing everything that you've taken away today. So remember to also share your thoughts and your pictures on social media. Use that hashtag #GoRedNoke. And we will be following up, looking at all those pictures from today's event with that hashtag #GoRedNoke, sharing some of the special moments from today. Thank you so much for attending. We really appreciate it. And once again, I would like to thank everyone who made this possible today. Our chair, Cherie Grisso, and our entire executive leadership team, and all of our sponsors, our National Go Red for Women sponsors, CVS Health, Optima Health, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Go Red sponsor, Richfield Living, Silver sponsors, Gentry Lock Attorneys, Hewlett Capital Management, Medical Facilities of America, and Member One Federal Credit Union. And thank you so much for being here today. What a powerful movement of bringing everyone together to support women's heart health. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care of yourself and those that you love. We will get through this, and we are better together.